Audio notes on Notes from a Regicide by Isaac Fllmn. All the way done of chapter 13, all the way done of part 1, where, yes, this kind of bounces back and forth between Griffin talking about his kind of living with them, the past, kind of the past of being a kind of a rotten, at this point, rotten teenager with them, kind of saying like they were terrible. Their home didn't felt wrong, and it felt wrong because they weren't really quite sure how to make a home for someone, but they were definitely trying their hardest at doing that. We get that, and then we get Ituan's his notes written after in his second imprisonment from his kind of first imprisonment, but also his slow romance, his slow building of we love each other between Ituan and Saffron. So there's that, and we've just gotten to the part where they basically have decided that, they've said it to each other. They've known it about each other before that. And Saffron is like, when I think about loving you, it's loving you as a woman, and not just a sworn woman, like, someone who's like just declared themselves a woman, but someone who's like, is physically a woman, and you're loving me as that, touching me like that. And, Ituan going like having regretted because he got pulled in by the tyrant Stefan again. It's like he really regretted not having fucked Saffron because he thought, oh, I'm about to get, executed or imprisoned yet again. And he's like, the end, it's like we've invented a new way of fucking to love each other, to be with each other. And it was quite puzzling at the beginning of them getting hired by a kind of older lady to paint a death portrait of Sebastian, this aristocrat, would-be revolutionary, digging up the body to do that. And then Ituan getting in trouble for it because, and you're kind of like, why the fuck is Stefan, this tyrant, this paranoid tyrant, doing this? But then as we kind of get more clear in this, is like people are walking around dressed up as Stefan, and it's a symbol of rebellion. They've taken something that belonged to the aristocracy and they've made it their own, and they've kind of twisted its meaning to their own thing. They've by repeating it, they've kind of changed it or denatured it, or made it into a thing for just revolution in general. And that's really pissed Stefan off. And Stefan is a completely political animal, whereas Ituan is like, I just paint. But Saffron makes the point of, no, your art is propaganda art. You do portrait. When you were doing portraits, you were doing beautiful, stunning portraits of the aristocracy, looking gorgeous and untouchable. It was propaganda for the aristocracy and their ruling. So, and the reason why she doesn't paint is she can't do that kind. She doesn't want to do. She rebels. Her whole body rebels against that kind of thing. And Ituan is like, but I painted you. It was like, I wanted to be with you. The reason why that work actually has the power it does is because I wanted to get into your pants. I painted it with your body, and, this kind of aristocratic, kind of all kind of generic face. But it's the body that probably gives it its power. So it's, fucking ironic that way. So we're getting, and it's like Saffron is a revolutionary, where Etwan is like resolutely, maybe just because of his own constitution, incapable of seeing that. Griffon talks about how it's really frustrating that, like, in his notes, you just want him to kind of look and notice what Saffron is doing, because it's sense of like he doesn't get exactly, like, when she is not suffering from her mental illness, she's doing stuff, but we don't get that. She is the kind of the mystery, in a way. She is the love object. She is the she is the subject of this artist, but she is also an artist in herself that we don't get to see. And she's an abstract artist. She's not representational, propagandizing, like Etwan is. So yeah, this is a really good book, really beautifully written, gorgeously written, highly emotional, probably way above my pay grade in its complexities, but just, I'm really enjoying it. All right, I'm going to leave it there. That is part 1 up to chapter 13, up to and including chapter 13 of Notes from Regicide.